It's not glamorous work, but someone has to do it. In the rapidly growing township of Anglevale in Adelaide's north. These trucks arrive daily to collect sewage from local residents.
It's unbearable by many residents. They go to the toilet, they flush, but it actually then goes to an underground pit within the estate, and that is not a standard of living that we should have in 2024.
Basic infrastructure hasn't kept pace with construction, and as a result, more than 700 homes across 8 new northern Adelaide housing estates are having their sewage transported up to 40 kilometres by road to the main wastewater treatment plant.
And it's only after a community is established, the smells are being experienced, the frustrations of the community start to be lifted, and then they come together and chat. How? Why is that still happening today?
To make things worse, the treatment plant is also at capacity.
Well, we're having spectacular growth, but we've really in Adelaide hit the absolute ends of the supply of both sewage and water infrastructure.
Houses are now selling over $1 million. People who move out to the city of Playford just want basic infrastructure. It is. We're not asking for any gold-plated finishing.
Since his election to local government in 2018, Playford Council Deputy Mayor Clint Marsh has been lobbying for more funding for infrastructure in the area.
We have this issue where at a local government and a state government level, we like to invest in infrastructure post-growth. But if we just had a common sense approach and said, the moment a development starts to get built, let's do everything, we wouldn't have these hassles.
In this day and age, should we be carting sewage by truck?
Well, of course we shouldn't. That was only ever a short-term fix, a band-aid fix.
In June, the South Australian government announced $1.5 billion would be spent on new mains water and sewerage connections to rapidly growing Adelaide suburbs. So where will these pipes be installed?
Well, they'll be installed here in the northern suburbs in places like Anglevale and Riverlea and out in Roseworthy. And really what they are is every single one of these pipes is a little puzzle piece in resolving the national housing crisis.
But it won't be a quick fix, and trucks will continue to pick up sewage for at least another 4 years.
The pipes behind me, the trenches need to be dug. We need to get them into the ground. We need to manage traffic along the roads in which those pipes run under. And we have to get all of that infrastructure laid out over the next 4 years. It's a very big infrastructure project. It's a very big engineering challenge.
We are unfortunately in a situation where it will take years for the basic infrastructure management that everyone else takes for granted. It comes to our area, so very disappointed.
8 weeks ago, Sarah Baker and her family moved into a new home in Anglevale. She's one of the lucky ones. Her house is connected to the sewer network, but she says the issues in the area are about more than a lack of pipes.
It makes us feel like second-rate citizens in areas that don't have bus stops and train stations and appropriate sewerage and wastewater management, stormwater. These roads have been classified as country roads. They're not anymore. They need lighting, stormwater and appropriate infrastructure management.
Well, previous governments should have taken greater responsibility. They should have made greater investments.
And that includes Labor governments?
It includes all governments of both stripes. It's really important that we acknowledge that things have gone wrong in Anglevale. The development, sector, local government, the state government have all got to have a good, long, hard look at the infrastructure.
Property Council of Australia's CEO Mike Zorbas says it's a nationwide problem.
It's very problematic in the context of a national housing crisis. If you think about recent reports in Melbourne, Melbourne Water has an average delay of 12 months in connecting new developments and up to 2 years. In some cases it's more than that, but those are very significant cost impacts on new housing.
The federal and state governments want 1.2 million homes built over the next 5 years to ease the nation's housing crisis.
While I'm an optimist on the 1.2 million housing target, current estimates are that we're going to fall 260,000 homes short. So we need every Premier, every planning minister, every housing minister to work with utilities, to work with electricity providers, water and sewerage providers around the nation to unlock the last mile of infrastructure in order that we can make up that very big housing gap.
South Australia's housing minister says infrastructure shortcomings are hampering efforts to accelerate growth in Adelaide's north, and trucking sewage is an unfortunate but necessary measure to keep construction going.
Look, we're at capacity in regards to housing infrastructure, and unless we act, unless councils, state governments and national governments are enabled to act together, we will not resolve the housing crisis, and it will get much, much worse.